Oh, what's up, Spurs universe? My name's Barney.
I'm Dan.
This is me now.
I love that Spurs universe.
Spurs universe.
Because it's enough that, like, it's close enough that people would go, that sounds like a thing. But it's also just, like, stupid enough that your brain stops and goes, like, hang on. It doesn't quite.
Yeah, like most of the things I say, that's sort of, that's the rule, really.
Yeah.
You know, I want people to have, that moment where their brain kind of freezes.
Yeah.
It's kind of painful, right? They're like, why?
Just catch them in their tracks and they just pour, and that's it. They're like cryogenically frozen for all of time.
Oh, yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah.
And then I'll reanimate them.
Yeah.
On Uranus, the planet, after we've flown there, after they've been... Doesn't matter. We won another game, Dan.
We did.
We did.
What was it? The 9 points? No, not 9 points. The 9 games, 23 points, something like that.
Yeah.
Or biggest total for a new manager in the history from Ange.
Another record smashed by Ange Postecoglou, the man who people said couldn't do it.
Yeah, they didn't. They said hashtag no to Ange.
No to Ange. Hashtag no to Ange. Well.
So this is our own fans who said that he couldn't do it.
Yeah. Because we should have, I don't know what we should have done. What did they want?
I think they just wanted the big glamorous name of because it was like, no to Ange, we deserve better.
Right.
Which, when you look back on it now, is this like the most stupid thing I've ever heard come out of any football fans' mouth or fingertips.
Yeah.
But it's just like, no to Ange, we deserve better. Yet it's like, I don't think across all the metrics of like a manager, you could find anyone better than Ange.
Yeah.
Across the board.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I wonder whether they're sitting there now, 9 games in, Ange breaking the record for most points accumulated over that stretch of games, and they're seething.
Yeah.
Surely not. Surely they're just like, I always said he was good, or like, there's no...
Oh, my account got hacked.
Yeah, it got hacked. It got hacked by all those hackers out there that hack small accounts with 30 followers.
And it just kept posting all this vitriol against Ange.
Yeah.
Really weird attack. Did anyone else get this attack?
Yeah, surely. Yeah. Me too. Yeah.
And then instead of like the purple and orange crew with the lead out, it's a new one.
Why was it purple and orange? It never like clocked with me. I'm
sure there's more of a reason than what I know, but like I assume it's just to make something. Purple and yellow. Sorry. I assume it's something just to have a different color than the club's colors, and also ones that aren't used by any other team, which I think is kind of like with the Man U support where they did the yellow and green. Although I think that goes back into Man U's history and they have an association with that. But I don't think we've got an association with purple and yellow. Like,
I mean, sometimes we have purple third kits, and the keepers wear orange a lot of the time. Is that?
Yeah, and we do get yellow in, I guess, quite a lot on things. But I don't know where they picked it up from.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of people have just like quietly been removing those from their names as well.
Everyone should get a notification when they do it.
Yeah. Specifically, not if you change your username.
No.
Just if you remove the purple and yellow.
Yep. Every single person that posts about Tottenham on Twitter or X should get notified when that happens, I think.
You should have to wear a hat when you go to the games.
Yeah, a yellow and purple one with a little spinner on the top.
A little spinner on top, yeah. And you can't control it. It just keeps going. And that's just for the rest of your Spurs following career.
And the more you go back on things you've said previously, the faster the propeller goes. Eventually you take off. You get ejected from the stadium. You just get taken off like a helicopter.
That's why these people just hovering over the ground, just watching games. Just still going further and further up.
Yep. Great idea.
Yep.
Another great idea from us here at A Bit Spursy.
Let's put it into practice. We've this show could be mined like for various pitches for products and everything like that. Like, I was gonna say I feel like we're running a Spurs Shark Tank, but it's ourselves who are just pitching ideas, and there are no judges.
There's no judges here. Yeah. What do you think about replacing ourselves with AI?
Probably will happen.
Yeah. Like we could get AI copies of ourselves and put them in.
Yeah,
Mm.
I'm up for it.
Yeah, we could give it a go.
Because they're doing it with so many. I don't know if it's like, is it celebrities like selling their likeness to a brand that the brand can then use their AI to create online content, which sounds really like iffy.
I don't know, because there's been a few. Was there a Tom Hanks? Like I saw Hamish Blake posted the other day that his image has been used to sell weight loss gummies.
Oh, really?
Like someone's made this scam.
Oh, that's a scam. That's a fake thing.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
But I don't know about the legit.
I think there's legit ones. It's like, I want to say Kendall Jenner, like selling likeness to Disney or something like that.
Right. Okay.
I think there's maybe one or two others that have done that, because I guess I understand, like, previously in the past, you go, you're a celebrity, you sell your likeness, take some photos, chuck it on some ads, done.
Mm-hmm.
And then they would go, this is just the next iteration of that.
Yeah.
But then to be able to have your likeness start
Say
talking
stuff. Yeah.
and do whatever, it's pretty, I don't know,
Spooky. It is the month of Halloween. You know what wasn't spooky?
I think I know what you're going to say.
Yeah.
The Fulham
game? No,
Yeah.
I was going to say the wonderful Reddit user Planet808 or Songfam on our Discord, who posted on Reddit and said, you guys should listen to this podcast. I thought it was so nice.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Songfam.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Planet808. Yeah, and that was nice. It got quite a lot of traction on the post. A lot of lovely comments as well from people saying they enjoy the pod, and they get the lighthearted take and everything, which is nice.
Yeah.
Some other comments, Barney, that you quite liked, which were not as favourable.
Yeah. Before I get into those, while we're still in the positive zone, also thank you to Lion Peacock for donating to our, is it Ko-fi? Coffee?
I want to say coffee, because if it's like buy me a coffee, but the company, when they registered, they're like, all the names around coffee are taken.
They're done.
So we're going to go Ko-fi.
Ko-fi.
I call it Ko-fi, not coffee.
Yeah, Ko-fi. Thank you so much for your generous donation. And if you feel generous, we've now got that, and you can, if you don't want to sign up for the Patreon for whatever reason, I mean, we don't put anything on there, so.
No, well, we are planning on actually.
True, yeah. We are planning,
putting on a lot of content on the Patreon.
Nah, I don't reckon.
Within the next couple of weeks, there will be content on the Patreon.
I believe it when I see it. Okay,
we're doing some anti-advertising here.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you don't want to sign up to a regular recurring thing, you can just donate whatever you'd like on the coffee. But so thank you again, Lion Peacock, for that.
Yeah, both so nice. I thought it was so nice that both of them did those things. Yeah. So my comments that I loved, my favorite one, was, there were quite a few comments saying, I've ignored this podcast because it has the word Spursy in it. I've ignored it.
Yeah.
Someone said the name is almost as bad as Suffering with Spurs. And I maybe this is the issue with the name. I don't really have, like, Suffering with Spurs. I'm like, haha. Sometimes to follow any team is, suffering, because whatever happens. Or suffering could mean, I really suffered when it was 1-1 and then we scored in the last minute, or there was a penalty shootout. Like, it was uncomfortable. It doesn't necessarily mean you're, like, slagging off whatever it is that you were suffering in or for.
Totally. I don't see the Suffering with Spurs pod come up and I'm like, nah, because they use the word suffering.
No.
So we can appreciate, like, that's probably going to be a little bit more lighthearted, maybe somewhat cathartic. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's other comments that people said here.
My favorite one is seconded. Use the word and I've lost interest in any conversation. And immediately I was like, so use Spursy and you lose interest in any conversation. Like, imagine, like, yes, sir, you did win the lotto this week. I guess that's not very Spursy. And just being like,
I'm out.
Goodbye.
Stay, collect your £1 million.
Yeah, no.
No, you said the word.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Or it riles me so much. This one was more reasonable. Honestly, the phrase Spursy riles me so much, I'm genuinely put off by the name, not a very fair judgment, I know, lol. So they finished with laughing out. So they finished and they went, ha, 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 ha. So, at least it was done in good faith.
Yeah. It's I just find it so interesting and fascinating that like anyone who has listened to the pod or watched the pod now, they know that it's a very light-hearted take on Spurs, and it's you have other pods out there that serve different purposes, tactical analysis, ranting and raving, all that sort of stuff. This is just very light-hearted, more entertaining take is what we're going for. That it's like, all right, you've grieved over the loss of a game, you've gone through whatever, maybe just something else with some Spurs adjacent content.
Yeah.
But for people to be like, not Spursy, no chance.
Yeah, which is why we've actually decided to change the name of the pod now to Ultimate Spurs Go Team Awesome Best Guys Podcast.
And you'll be pleased to know the domain was available.
Yeah, it's available, and we will be taking it. Yeah, I just always assumed that people would get the joke.
Yeah.
That it's using a word that's derisively pointed at Tottenham and using that as a name. But apparently not, Dan.
Apparently not. No. But that's what our mission now is, to convert the world one Spurs fan at a time, to accept that we can say Spursy and take back the power of the phrase.
Yeah.
And just mean Spursy as in like Spurs stuff.
Spurs stuff. But we can also still call ourselves Spursy, I think. Oh, that was Spursy. We blew it, right?
Yeah, we could say that. But also, I don't think we've ever even said that on the pod.
No, we've never have. That was the first time.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
But, yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So we won the game. How did you feel watching the game? What were your observations? I've already asked you how you felt.
No, I'm double down on my feeling. General feelings was like, I was not worried at all going into the game. Because, a lot of the pre-match talk was just like, Marco Silva, you've beaten Spurs this season, the only team to do it. And then he's like, we'll take that into account. That's a positive. Whereas when you ask Ange about it, Ange is like, mate, it's different circumstances. We've like basically playing like a B team in that game, and if you look at the context of the game, who cares?
Yeah.
But I was not really that like stressed at all, especially seeing that like Son was back fine, Maddison was back, Romero was in. So watching the game, especially the first half, my constant feeling was like, how good is football?
Yeah.
Like, how good is it to be able to sit down, whatever other things you've got going on in life, just to sit down and watch us play in this manner? I was just like, it was just a real moment that I took a second. I was like, Like, I feel like we've been traumatized through previous managers, and now it's like, oh, this is what football can be. And it's actually very, very enjoyable to watch.
I mean, like you said, you forget about like I had an open wound while I was watching, and I completely forgot about it, bleeding everywhere, and I just sat there and I just thought, how good's Ange Ball?
You're still bleeding out.
Yeah, I'm
now.
still bleeding out, but I'm still wrapped up in the enchantment of how wonderfully we play.
I just love you go to the ICU and they're like, well, we can't really do up all the stitches and anything. We've run out of twine. Let's just chuck on some Ange Ball, and everyone's just like,
yeah, stronger than morphine.
Yeah.
I felt in the first half, I was like, oh, this is so good. We're dominating them.
Can I also ask, did you watch live?
I tried to, and then I ended up watching it at like 8 a.m. or something instead. And yeah, it was. I was nervous beforehand because I was like, "Oh." Initially, I was like, "They did beat us," and then I remembered it was a penalty shootout, and we were playing a beat, and I was like, "Oh, okay." But I'm still. I guess it's from maybe Conte or maybe even the Jose days where you kind of didn't know how we were going to start. Ever.
Yeah, fair.
Like, well, I mean, Conte was more. We were going to start terribly. So, I always sort of feel like leftover anxiety from like, is this going to be the good Spurs team today or the not so good?
Yeah.
And under Ange, that sort of hasn't been the case. They, we play the way we play. I didn't love the second half. Well, I expect maybe the second half of the second half. How did you feel about?
Oh, second half?
Mm.
I think that's warranted. Like, there were some patches in the second half where we were pretty average.
Mm.
And especially when we had, like, I don't want to say the B team, but when we effectively rotated and we have the B team in there, it definitely was nowhere near as cohesive as we want it to be. But it still doesn't worry me long-term overall, because I'm like, I still feel there are a few players in there who can come in and for this season do a job and do a role in certain areas. Maybe they may take a little bit more time to like still get some of these ideas in, whereas the our superstars, like they've just clicked into Ange Ball and they're all over it. But there were definitely spells where it was like, all right, this is an example of like if we did just play the squad team in, and if we had a cup game to play them in, then that would be a little bit more challenging, and we might have another result similar to the Fulham one earlier in the season.
Yeah, I felt, but I also felt maybe it was the point when Son and Maddison came off, which again is when the B team came on. But there was this sort of taking the foot off the gas a little bit, and the sort of key example of that being Richarlison like trying to bring the ball down with his shoulder or something, and Ange losing his mind about it. Yeah. Why, God? Which felt, I was like, oh, I don't like that at all, because it felt a bit like, we are so good.
Yeah.
And I was like, as soon as we start doing that, we're done.
Yeah. I think that's a good point, because I think that what you're saying is right, like how Ange has gone, I'm confident enough with what we're doing, confident enough with our squad, we can bring them on. But then, to see Richarlison go for that, it shows then the mentality of like, no, you can't switch off though. Like, this is not, just because we're like rotating out players now to rest them and that, doesn't mean you can just switch off and chill and just think that this game's done. And it was like, just seeing Ange go, because the cameras just went straight to Ange. And seeing him there with his arms up and just going absolutely livid.
Yeah. God, I would not like to be Richarlison after the game. But yeah, it sort of stunk of like, oh, it's party time now. And I was like, Vicario's made some fantastic saves in this game.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we're not that safe here. We need to keep on doing what we're doing, and to the best of the ability we can, with Oliver Skip on the field, who was terrible. It was terrible.
I think it was funny seeing that like you had basically Kulusevski being, and like Kulusevski, in my mind, he's having an unbelievable season, and it's going a little bit under the radar because so much of it is down to like his work rate through everything. But like in this one, it's like, yeah, cool, we're gonna rest Son and Maddison. Like, Decky, you got to keep going, mate.
But like, I got so frustrated. There was multiple occasions where he wasn't shooting.
Oh, apart from that, 100%.
Like, why? What is going on? Like, are you injured? Have you been told never shoot, always pass? It was bizarre. Like, it was like obviously easy to sit at home at 8 a.m. eating like a breakfast roll, being like, shoot. But yeah, it was strange.
No, I think that's definitely fair that like, and especially in this system, we would want to see some more goals from him, like over the course of everything. But my comment was more so into just like everything he's doing in terms of just our general ball progression and his like defensive work and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But I definitely agree that like there were a few opportunities in this game where you are like, Decky, shoot!
Yeah.
No, don't pass there. Don't. And I don't know what it is. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Is it a lack of confidence around shooting? I don't know, but, and I wouldn't think so, because he seems so confident elsewhere. Like he's like nutmegging players and like very confident on the ball. Maybe he's really trying to adjust stylistically to cutting it back.
Yeah.
And so every time he's like, no, I'm just going to cut it back every single time. Decky, you promised yourself you weren't going to shoot today.
That's what you're going to do. Anne said you can only shoot with your right foot, and it's on your left foot, so do not do it. Yeah.
There's something there.
There's something. Yeah, it was strange. I thought Sarr was amazing. He was so immense.
Yeah.
When he made that run back to intercept, he intercepted a header, or did he intercept like a cross or
It was a cross coming back.
Yeah, that was unreal.
That was like it was majestic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think he put that clip up on Instagram as a highlight as well.
Hell yeah.
I'm like, yes, sir.
Nice.
Love that.
Nice.
He's great. I think it's maybe now he's like our sort of young player to sort of latch onto a little bit.
Yeah.
Like we always like having at least one young player who are like, they're our young like superstar in the making. And we've got a couple who could definitely, like you Doggy as well, could like fit in that. Van too. But I feel like Sarr's one that I really, really want to succeed, because I think it's like, I don't think we've had a midfielder like him for quite a while. And I just feel like, there's something about him. Like his work ethic's incredible.
Yeah, it's amazing. The thought that came into my head was which is a AFL term, gut running. Have you heard that before?
Is it running so hard your gut explodes?
Well, it's very unclear, but they say it all the time in AFL commentary. They're like, and that's what he's there for, that gut running.
Yeah.
But it's not used in any other context. But it's so normalized in the AFL, but it's very unclear what it means. So I looked it up, and it's hang on, here we go. A form of high-speed, long-term bipedal perambulation, apparently performed only by AFL players. What other kinds of running there are is not entirely clear.
Okay, so is this something like, if you're watching a game, the commentators will always talk about gut running?
Yeah, yeah. Gut running is a big thing that comes up. And I assume it means like running so much you feel like you're going to vomit.
Yeah.
I assume that's what it is.
But Conte will be like, yes, I know this term.
Yeah, gut running. Yes, I actually invented this term. Yeah.
Interesting, yeah. Okay. I was midway through that that explanation you were giving. I was thinking like, where is that written? And I'm like, is that on the AFL website? They're trying to really trademark the term and get it off the ground. And
no, urbandictionary.com was where that was from.
The other good gut running.
Good gut running. It was Martin Tyler on commentary, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It
was.
Yeah, and he's really throwing some stuff out there, isn't he?
I love Martin Tyler. He's my favorite commentator of all time.
Yeah,
by far. There's a part of it which takes me like nostalgia back to like watching like the World Cups in the 90s and having like Martin Tyler go. But I just love him because he says some phrases which you would just never ever think of, and but he's never biased in what he talks about. He's like, and for once not having the lead commentator still try and like squeeze in there of how shit Spurs are in this. I'm like, it's so refreshing and just like calming to have someone who's like, they've got all these lovely facts to throw in, but they're never just like, Spurs really should be doing more. Spurs have done this, and just going on down that path.
Yeah. I kind of feel like he's gone the way of JR from in wrestling, where greatest in the world, and he's gotten a bit older, and some wires getting crossed, and you're starting to get some stuff like what he said. I can't remember who it was. On Fulham, they headed the ball towards goal, and Martin Tyler said, "Plant your feet, and you get extra power."
Oh, from a header, yeah.
Which I was like, that is bananas.
See, I love that. I love
extra power.
Just powering up.
Yeah.
I love if he went further into it. You look at him planting his feet there, powering up.
If you dig your shoes into the earth, the power that will be unleashed from your head will be unbelievable.
The lava will channel through your body. Burn the net.
I also loved, he said, Spurs playing out from the back like the proverbial cucumber.
See, I didn't hear that one. That's fair.
And the best bit was that he said it, and then we gave the ball away, and he goes, and it hasn't worked.
That's so good. The one I loved was on James Maddison, where it's like, and Maddison, really stepping up, blah, blah, blah. Played Coventry City, Norwich City, Leicester City, and now the big city. And I was like, hell yeah, I'm on board, man. I love this. Give me more of it.
That should be our new nickname as a club.
The big city.
Tottenham Hotspur, the big city.
Imagine that. Arsenal and Chelsea just livid. But that also sounds it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, Manchester City, livid.
Now we are the big city.
Yeah, you're Manchester City. We're the big
Yeah.
city. New York? No.
It's kind of cool as like a nickname in a
Yeah.
way. Like if you go on Wikipedia and it says club name Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, also known as the Lily Whites. This everything, and the Spurs, the big city.
Yeah, it's huge.
I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, that's
please.
great. Big city. What's that song that was like Big City Life? Do you know that song?
No, I don't know that one.
Okay. Big City Life? Do you not know it?
Although it's like, I don't know that one. Like, I'm going to tell you again.
You don't know.
I'm going to repeat myself until you acknowledge that it's a song.
I'm not going to play it because of copyright, but I'm just going to find out who it's by because.
Is it a recent song?
No.
No, an old one. Big City Life.
Big City Life. You got to get by. Doesn't matter. It's by Matterfix, apparently.
Oh,
I don't know who that
okay.
was.
I'll listen to it after the pod.
Promise?
I promise.
Great. But because that could be our song then. We could sing Big City Life.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the Spurs DJ, who we've got a little screenshot here, they seem very receptive to whatever Spurs songs are out in the ether at the moment to playing them, which I love. There's a photo of them, their little DJ set up at the ground, which is a lot more in the ground than I expected, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And they've got their they put up one thing which is like excited for the game today, and they've got their laptop open with like Tractor with all their tracks on it. And then it says Islands in the Stream, Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers. And I'm like, great. I love that. Excuse me, that our Spurs DJ, who I believe is Kieran Moore, that they're just like, yeah, cool. This is like making the rounds of the news. Let's play into that and really just add those things in. So I feel like, if we can get this Big City Life,
yep,
this is our campaign to get that off the ground and played in the stadium.
Get it on. Seeing that screenshot of Tractor just reminds me of being like 16 years old and be like, I'm getting into DJing.
I've got like a 16th birthday this weekend, Spurs Stadium after that, and then I don't know, just mix some tracks at home.
Yeah.
Like, cool.
He's so in the stadium. He's right there.
Like bottom tier, in there. So, which is pretty cool. Like to be in, and it makes sense in a way, but you just don't think clubs would do it. You think clubs wouldn't have that, knowledge. They'd just be like, oh no, we just put the DJ in like some glassed off room somewhere. But like to be actually there and get a real sense, and you can actually hear everything properly. Yet also having the power with a tiny little knob in front of you to absolutely blow out the speakers of the whole stadium. It's pretty cool. Yeah,
it is cool. Yeah, I mean, and it's different because I've also got a tiny little knob, but I don't have the power to affect speakers. So, and I'm in Australia.
I love that, and I'm also in Australia.
Yeah, so I can't. Yeah,
that's the thing stopping that power from coming out.
If I was in big city, whoa. Can I ask on the sort of topic of knobs? You've made a section on our running order titled "Mr. Sexy," and then there's various photos of our players on their little graphics kind of cards.
Yeah,
what is this?
Okay, I could see this has very little context with it now.
Yeah.
So these cards came up. Excuse me. I guess they're like the Sky Sports coverage or whatever that filters through to us. I'd never seen these before, but there was pre-game. And it just struck me of like all the poses that our players have. And then Højbjerg's one, he just struck me as like Mr. Sexy.
Oh, yeah.
And it reminds me of like, you're having like Big Brother or something, and it's like 5 weeks in and they're like, housemates, there's an intruder coming in that's going to mix everything up and cause chaos. And because his pose is like there just like, and he's just got that real like confident, like sexy pose.
Yeah.
And I thought that he's just like the intruder coming in as Mr. Sexy.
Yeah.
And it just struck me of like how varied all the different poses are, that you've got some players like having a bit of fun, like Sarr and Udogie both like that. Van de Ven doesn't really know what to do, so he's just like smiling.
Arms folded, smiling.
But then you've got like, Porro giving another little kind of...
He's doing like, I'm thinking.
I'm thinking.
You got Cristian Romero going, I'll kill you.
And Richarlison's doing the same thing as well, a bit more evil. James Maddison, look at me.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kulusevski's like adjusting his collar like he's got a big jacket on.
Or that his shirt has a collar on it, which it doesn't.
Yeah. But it's very much these poses like, it looks like ultimate boy band.
Yeah. They're very expressive, actually.
Yeah.
I've never seen them that expressive.
And Son, like, captain, he's got hand over his heart, but I will take it as hand over the cockerel.
Yeah. I think so too.
But yeah, they were just so expressive. And I was just like, and so varied. We've spoken in the past before of when you get the little pre-match graphics with the heads of someone be either smiling or looking serious. But I've never seen this of like, all right, everyone, full body, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Give us some poses that like, what really represents you.
The body is an instrument, guys. And we're going to do the viewpoints exercise.
Yeah.
And we're going to walk around and we're going to find new poses, articulate things through movement.
Shouldn't we be doing tactics before the game?
No, mate, no.
No, mate, come on.
Come on, mate.
There's an alternate training method that I learned at acting school.
Yeah, come on, mate. Come on. We're gonna do that. All right. Now I'm gonna put on some jazzy music.
Yeah. It's like when you hear like Andrew always talks about like, mate, ask questions. Like you can learn so much from people. And like we have other coaches that come visit the training ground and all that sort of stuff. But it's like if an actor like Robert De Niro comes or Robert De Niro doesn't feel right as a choice. Al Pacino.
Yeah, right.
Maybe. Who's just come and he's like, you ever tried posing before the game and expressing yourself with your body? And then it's like, mate, well, maybe we should try that. Maybe we should test it out.
Al Pacino's like, I do one of these. Yes. I do one of these.
I do sometimes Mr. Sexy.
It's only sometimes. Yeah, I think that's plausible. Great. Another Spurs documentary series. Pacino visits the training ground.
Yeah. I would watch that. Have you seen his coffee ads? They're for, I forget the brand, but like the Victoria coffee or something like that. Have you seen?
Yes, I have.
Like a series of them, and they're little like vignette type things. But it's basically just like, we've got Al Pacino, and we'll just let him talk about coffee. And some of them, there's nothing to them. Like he'll be like, in the morning, I have my morning coffee. When I have a coffee, it's coffee. Do you like coffee?
Yeah.
Victoria coffee.
Hell yeah. I'm glad they've gone with that approach, because like the Clooney ones for espresso, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. It's
much rather just be like, improvise, Pacino. Yeah, it's a cup. Yum, yum, yum.
No, you taste that. Are the Clooney ones, are they the ones where it's like, it's more like a night with George Clooney, and then it's like the morning after, where it's like George Clooney's like, hey, babe, do you want me to make you an espresso? Like the pods? Those sort of things? Yeah.
It's that. Yeah, or there's one at the moment where he's like, they're trying to guess the flavor or something, and he's like, and the actor that he's with, she's from that show that was on Netflix. And she's like, actually, it's this. And he's like, oh, it's so boring.
I love the uncut version of that, which goes to like 5 hours, and it's Clooney just like, you bullshit, that is hazelnut.
Yeah.
That has to be hazelnut.
It's brown. The pod is brown.
Yeah, why is it going to be vanilla?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
George, we're going to end this contract with you right now.
Yeah. You know what I'd rather watch? 5 hours of Pacino improvising about a cup of coffee.
It's a little cup. It's so small. There's so much flavor.
Where does a hat after you're done?
Yeah. But look, that's again, Spurs Play. Reach out to us, please.
Yeah, reach out, please. If anyone,
content on there,
just let us know if you like. You don't have to say we love the ideas. We just want to know, Spurs Play, that you're watching.
Yeah, as long as they're being heard, we just want to be heard.
Exactly.
With them. See, this is where we take the stadium DJ, who is working in things, having a bit of fun with it. So we need the Spurs Play execs to have the same thing.
Yeah,
Start having fun with like. Some of the stuff we're putting out.
Exactly. If you give me 10 minutes on the phone, Spurs Play, I can give you 100 ideas. I don't know how many ideas how many seconds I've got per idea there, but not many, but I could do it.
Yeah, maybe I'm going to say like 6 seconds.
So 600 seconds. Yeah.
6 seconds. Yeah, 6 seconds per idea.
That's heaps.
That's
done.
3 seconds. You can double that. 200 ideas.
Spurs play. Join the Discord.
I love that you end up getting dry. Like, Richarlison getting a haircut.
Yeah.
Richarlison trying on pants. Richarlison eating.
Yeah, that pigeon thing. Dier watching a movie alone.
Football game.
Yeah. What the hell? I saw that Dier was again linked to Bayern Munich, which I just find so funny because it's Harry Kane.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah, because when have they ever been interested before? You know, Dier's a footballer.
Mhm.
Doesn't seem like a Bayern Munich player, but good luck to him if it,
Yeah, well, it just seems like Eric Dier, in terms of his footballing ability, you really wouldn't expect Bayern to be like, we need to get that guy in. Like we've spoken very highly of Eric Dier personality wise and everything.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
But like, just as a footballer, I can't see Bayern going with all the pulling power that we have. We need to go for Eric Dier, unless Kane is going like,
please
bring my mate in, please.
Please.
Dier was the kitman in this game.
He was.
I saw a clip where he's on the bench and he's just handing out the kits. So like, Skip comes in to train and Dier's like, oh, there you go. There was also another clip on Instagram, I think, that Spurs put up of all the players coming back from international duty.
Oh yeah.
And they had like all their fash stuff going on. And then Eric was the last one they showed, and he's just like walking and looks at him and he's like, "Oh, you're not even going to use me, so you don't have to take a video."
You don't have to film this, guys. You're not going to use it. Which I saw some of the most histrionic reactions to I think I've ever read.
Yeah.
Which was like, look how depressed he is. He's so. I was like, it's a joke.
Yeah, I feel he was also kind of like, my fashion is not like any of the, like James Maddison looked like a supersized child who was like in their parents' clothes.
It was unreal.
Looked very fashionable. Like I was like, I could not pull that off.
Yeah.
But it was like bold choice. And I think Dier was just kind of like, this is not like, for a fashion watch, you're probably not going to lead with me just in a cap and a hoodie.
Yeah. I love that they left it in too.
Yeah.
To spite him.
Yeah.
But you're right about Maddison with that flowy. He looked like Tilda Swinton.
Yeah.
Flowy. Oh, hello.
I feel like he's really, maybe that's to his like increased confidence. He's really just like, which I love. Like, I want to see him like rocking up to train next time and it's like mid painting. Like, just like, he doesn't care anymore. He does whatever he wants.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just like, he's just a man exuding confidence at the moment.
Just had an image of the training ground car park and you see this, I don't know what car he drives, but let's say SUV that's just like veering through hedges. Yeah. And you see it's him like painting. Oh my God.
Should we stop that? It's like, no, Maddison, let him go.
Leave him.
Have you seen his form lately?
Yeah, we can't. We don't want to mess with that.
We let him drive all through the woodlands like that.
The woodlands. Yeah, you know where we filmed that video with the bird watchers? Yeah, we let him go nuts out there. I wanted to bring up, so Ange's press conference, right? Usually they're about 10 minutes, okay? Okay? Do we agree?
Correct. I agree.
Yep. This one went for like 5. And what I thought was interesting was he got asked a couple of questions, and then the third question he got asked was around the conflict in Israel and Palestine. And he said, I've told you I'm not gonna, it's not my place. There are much more educated people on that can speak to it.
Yeah.
It's, I'm not in charge of bringing flags into the ground. And then he said, all right, thank you, and left.
Yeah.
And I was like, interesting.
Yeah, because he also like, I'm not going to tell people how to feel or anything like that. Like, it was a very much like, kind of like, why are you asking me this question?
But what I thought was more sort of interesting about it is the fact that he gave a really good answer, and then he ended the press conference 5 minutes early compared to what it usually is, which, if I'm putting my psychology hat on, is maybe a bit of conditioning for the journalist. Because I've always tried to be, like, I'm trying to work out how he's so good at it. And I wonder whether this comes into it, where he's teaching them, if you ask me questions about that, the press conference will end.
Yeah.
and that means that you don't get to ask any more questions, and only 3 of you got to ask questions, and that was it.
Yeah.
Which is, do you know, like classical conditioning is pairing a conditioned stimulus with an unconditioned one. So like if I the Pavlov's dogs, like with the, do you know about this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking that in my head, and I was like, "Is this the right thing?" Am I going
Yeah.
to say it, and Barney be like, "That's incorrect." But
What are you talking about, idiot? But then there's also operant conditioning, which is like reward for behavior or punishment for behavior, and then you associate the behavior with the reward or punishment, and therefore the behavior is either increased or decreased.
To keep the dog thing, if it's like you've done a good thing, here's a treat.
Yes.
Okay. You've done a bad thing, no treat.
No. Yeah. Yeah. And so if he does that every time they ask him questions where he's like, he just ends it in a way that, unlike maybe our previous manager, that would probably have a meltdown, right, about whatever they ask. Journalists, that's good for them.
Yeah.
Whether this is bad, it's a punishment.
Oh yeah, and it's like I liked how he went, because obviously there's a word out being like, if questions about this come up, we don't talk about it. We don't know. And it's like, I don't have a problem with that at all, because I'm like, why would you be asking Premier League managers for their opinion on these things?
Yeah, I wonder who the journalist was.
Yeah. It's like, you're really, really pushing to try and get some sort of really clickbaity type thing. You push up like, Ange said what about the conflict and da 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 da. And I'm just like, we shouldn't be looking to football managers to get opinions on those sorts of things. I know often in football they're the ones who talk the most, and we don't hear from clubs or the Premier League and all that sort of stuff. But still, I'm like, we're here to talk about games and game adjacent type things. And I think a decision like this, Ange didn't make this call. Ange's got nothing to do with it. So to be like, can we talk about the flags? And can you really get into this very heated discussion on this this topic, which you're going to say something and it's going to be like, going to be pretty big, whatever you say on it. So I like that Ange is just like, yeah, no. See ya.
Yeah, see ya. But yeah, the way he did it was so good. He was like, I'm not going to tell you how to feel, blah, 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 blah. All right, thanks. It was so just, that's the end now.
Yeah.
Rather than, I'm really angry that you've actually asked me that question. Maybe he was frustrated by it, but he didn't show it. Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, it's like when it's going well or not. Like if it's a good press conference, and like he might get up and be like, "All right, thanks everyone. By the way, enjoy your lunch." Right?
Yeah.
Whereas this is like, "Yeah, thank you," and then out.
Yeah, he didn't want them to enjoy their lunch. He wanted them to have a couple of Kruskuts.
Yeah,
with nothing on them.
I like it. If maybe that's how he should do it from now on. If he doesn't like the questions that are asked on any topic, that he just ends with like, all right, no, thank you. And by the way, do not enjoy your lunch. Yeah. I really hope you do not enjoy it. I hope it's a very dry, very bitter lunch for you.
All right, that's all I've got to say, boys. Have a shit lunch.
Have a real shit lunch.
Yeah. Have the worst lunch.
I wonder if it's because he did speak in this press conference about the second half and being like, I was not impressed with that at all. But I wonder for training the next day, before lunch, he's like, boys, from the first half, enjoy lunch. Second half, have a shit lunch. Yeah. And he just keeps going back and forth.
No. That's the most devastating thing he's ever said. Yeah. We know how he feels about lunch.
Yeah. Enjoy your entree and a bit of your main, but then the rest of your main and the dessert, I don't want you to enjoy that.
No, absolutely not. Boys, I hope you had a big breakfast this morning, because you are not going to enjoy your lunch.
Yeah. Don't worry, you'll still get lunch.
Yeah, you still get it.
Make it very clear, we're still going to feed you.
It's not going to be good, though.
It's not going to be good.
Nah.
You're not going to be telling people about it. You're not going to put up on your Instagram and your
whatever
TikToks.
You do. Yeah. Probably.
Yeah.
I'd say probably. You put also in this running order the Maddison interview, which I watched. Men in Blazers, who I think have been around for ages.
Years,
and they do. And, the guy's really likable. I'm giving all this sort of preface because then I don't understand why it was conducted on Zoom, but then there was another camera filming Maddison on Zoom, which meant that he was looking like this the entire time, just so you could have a Spurs shirt behind him. So just use that camera. Yeah.
It's like if you're doing a Zoom conversation, just have both people on Zoom. Because otherwise, like just in how we interpret like interviews and stuff, it's like things have to make sense.
Yeah.
Like if someone's not looking at the camera, the other person shouldn't be looking at the camera. Like if someone's looking at the camera, the other person should be like, we can make those things. But it becomes very like jarring just to be like,
Yeah, it was. I was so confused. I mean, there might be a very good reason, and actually, that the reason why they do that is because whatever. But to me, it was just like, what? Like, imagine if we had another camera that was,
Were you just pointing down to your like groin?
yeah, it was just like doing upskirts on us, and we cut to that sometimes.
Let's see what Barney's crotch thinks about this point.
Oh, let's do it.
Yeah.
Floor cam.
That's the point where we end the podcast then, because we've gone too far.
Once we get to floor cam, that's when it's got too far. You're right.
That's really what we need to introduce.
Yep.
Into the mix.
Was there anything else you wanted to touch on from this?
From the game overall?
Game overall, or from the stuff we have in the running order?
I think it was cool that seeing there was some footage of Sandro in the crowd after the game, and they were playing Freed from Desire on, and Sandro's there. He's like absolutely like loving it, and then it was so good to see that once he realizes that people of the crowd in front of him, because he's in some sort of like player's box or something. Once he realizes that they've turned around and they're watching him, it like he amps it up even more. So initially he's just kind of like that, and then once the attention's on him, he's like, "Oh hell yeah, hell yeah!" And I'm just like, Sandro is way more coy than I realized.
Yeah, he's really coy.
I know he's like, I always thought he was like a bit coy in that, and he'd had a very like pleasant time at the club and all that sort of thing. But just seeing him there and lose, I was like, yes. I love that so much, instead of just like having these like, you know, playing it very cool and casual and everything, like being like, hey, this is clipped up of me doing the rounds where I'm absolutely like frothing after the game and dancing up a storm.
Yeah. I had a great weekend. I went down to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and I did have a bit of a dance afterwards. Yeah. Everyone was watching me from the balcony. There I was, throwing my hands in the air.
Yeah. You know that quote they say, dance like nobody's watching? I really embodied that. That's right. I just thought more eyes on me, the less I thought about people watching. Yeah. Sandro's like, for someone who's like such a hard tackler and like rough player, like his personality is very fun and outgoing, but such a like timid inner voice we've given him. Like,
it kind of sounds a bit like Princess Diana.
Okay. I thought that was just a lovely thing to see. For the game, like there is really something nice about seeing like ex-players actually show that they had some connection to the club that was pleasant. Not like, say, for example, you know, Darren Bent, who's always now on TalkSport, is a big, huge Arsenal fan, and he just speaks. Sometimes he'll say a positive thing about Spurs, but like you get the sense it's like, you know, did you ever play for us? And when he gets called on, he's like, I'm just a professional.
Yeah, and
it's like, yeah, but it must have meant something to you, whereas like you very much speak like outside of things. It's never like I was at least a part of this for a little bit. Like I know you've got someone like Jamie O'Hara who's we and everything. But it's just like, it's so nice seeing ex-players like kind of, you know, tweet about the club or like still follow results and things like that. Like I think Bale recently said something too when he's like, yeah, I've been watching, it's cool, it's great, it's you know the so it's good. It's nice.
Yeah, it's sort of more affirming, because when they're at the club, of course, you would assume that they're gonna say, yeah, love it here, great. But once they've left, then you're like, oh, they really did.
Yeah,
they really did love it. Darren Bent saying I'm a professional is the same as saying I'm a mercenary. Yeah, I'll do anything for cash. Yeah. Anything.
Anything. I don't care.
Yeah. Give me enough dollars and I can't even imagine what I'd do. I couldn't come up with anything that wasn't like horrific.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, but it's nice. It's like goes against the, like, I just picture a little child asking, like, you know, James Maddison, you say you love the club. Is that real? Is that like really real? Do you mean it?
Do you mean it? Yeah. That'd be, maybe we could make a documentary about Sandro's dancing.
Idea 101.
They got a bonus one.
for free.
For free. Yeah, the other 10 minutes they're paying me
Yeah.
for all these amazing ideas.
Yeah, they're good. Well, we're end up just going to be funding our own. That's what's going to happen here.
Yeah, we are going to have to fund our own Spurs documentaries. Oh, God.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think that probably takes us to the end of today. We've got Crystal Palace on Friday night, UK time.
Yeah.
Saturday morning, our time.
How does it work that we played on a Monday night UK time and then play on the Friday?
I don't understand. Like, we've got no conflicting things to play in. Why can't we have a later game?
Yeah.
And not that it's obviously it's just all about Spurs.
Yeah.
But surely Crystal Palace and like I don't know if I don't know why. Like why unless we find out like they've got a game on Tuesday. Well, it's like, well then they shouldn't have that either.
Yeah, yeah.
But then after that, I think it's like 10 days or more until we play Chelsea.
Okay.
So it's over a week break until the next game.
Weird.
It just doesn't really make sense to me. I didn't get it.
Not impressed.
No.
Not impressed. Oh, the last thing I did want to say was someone tweeted at me or X'd at me. They X'd me.
They X'd you. You got X'd.
I got X'd. I got X'd. Mark Dobson, who Spurs fan, Australian, living in London, big city, and big city south east of England.
Yep.
England is a country. So anyway, he said,
it sounds like you're trying to dox them, but doing a really bad job at it.
They live on planet Earth. Yeah, within the solar system that involves other planets.
Yeah.
Nearest ones, Mars.
Yeah.
Other nearest one, Venus.
People like Barney, we're not gonna take down their account.
Yeah.
We're not gonna hack them for you.
Oh, well, no, I wouldn't want you to, because I think Mark Dobson said, Barney, your British accent reminds me of when Ross from Friends is trying to impress Emily.
So I've seen a few episodes of Friends, but not that many. So can you explain the reference for me here?
Here's the thing. I also can't explain the reference because I don't have an entirely smooth brain, so I don't watch Friends.
Okay. I also don't understand that reference.
That's a joke.
I don't get that either.
Having a smooth brain, having no wrinkles in it, means that when animals have smooth brains, they're not very smart.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. So my brain is a little bit smoother, but now I've got some more ridges because I now understand.
You just got a ridge
it's just
from me.
They're going, okay.
You got a ridgy didge, mate.
Okay, great. Okay.
No, but I actually need to watch that clip, but I just thought it was funny.
Oh, okay, great.
To be also Ross.
Oh, I guess so. I am assuming here, so Ross is trying to impress Emily, who possibly is British. Ross puts on a British accent.
Yeah.
Which I'm assuming by the relationship to saying your accent is bang on, perfect British accent. That's what I assume.
That's what you assume from that? Yeah.
That's what I assume is being said.
Yeah. Imagine like Ross is like to Friends what Voldemort is to Harry Potter.
Okay.
He is the worst.
Okay.
I think he's going to London to get married. Why are we doing? He's going to London to get married, I think, and this is Emily, who's his fiance, and yeah, he does an accent, which I assume is perfect.
Which I assume is perfect.
Yeah.
So thank you, Mark Dobson, for the.
Thank you, Mark Dobson. Thank you.
I will check out the clip because I'm
yeah, I want to check it out too. I bet you it's like this. Oh, hello, welcome to London, like that. Which is actually not like my accent is nuanced. It's flavorful.
Yeah, yours is a bit more. It's a bit more palatey.
It's got resonance to it that echoes on. People stop listening to the podcast and they can still hear it.
Yeah, because it's just in the ether, just going around.
Oh. Well, good. Thank you for letting me talk about that. Thank you very much for listening. We're looking forward to the game on Friday night. What time will it be for us? Like
6 a.m. I think Saturday morning.
Oh hell yeah! So yeah, thank you for listening or watching, and come on, you Spurs.